Welcome to DaedriusTV, and we today celebrate the start of the season of F1, and we're going to start with the Bahrain Grand Prix. We're counting down for the start, and lights out, and away we go. We have some moves being made in the back, some good starts going on towards the first turn. Wolf, one of the newcomers, into fourth as we go onto the first small little straight up. We go too wide with Sainz and Piastri, and oh, Wolf dives on the inside. What a magnificent move as he hits P2 right here. Lando Norris, of course, takes the lead. He has a little bit of a gap. Question is, will he keep that gap? Will Wolf be able to close it down? Of course, as the main driver on the new team that joins us here and obviously makes it 22 driver. The other driver, Iwasa, currently in 21st. But so far, it seems to have steadied out a little bit. It seems like Iwasa is fighting for that P20 with Nico Hülkenberg in the back. Some sparks coming off all the cars, of course, as we finish the first lap here at Bahrain. A lot of the F1 cars still somewhat close together. There's a gap forming there in the back. I think that is between Perez and Russell, the Mercedes driver. There is a move being made by Piastri on Carlos Sainz, and he did stick it, but he's still there. Carlos Sainz still fighting back. Verstappen right behind them. They might potentially be fighting over a spot that Verstappen can take advantage of. But it is Piastri who comes out on top as he sticks third. Very close to each other, as it seems like we have moved to Piastri to keep an eye on. Currently, I don't see any movements being made in the middle of the pack somewhere. All of them very, very brave. I saw a swap between Ocon and Guanju, I'm pretty sure. As we go down towards the last turn of lap 2. Of course, we are here during the night time, and we'll take a look at a little bit of the back of the pack with, let's say, Ricciardo. As we go down the straight line once again. Lap number 3. We are in as Ricciardo makes a move on Magnussen on the straight. Over here, will he stick it in the first turn? It seems like he does, and he takes P16 here in lap 3. For the rest, no real changes currently, besides just those few that happened. Of course, I'm pretty sure I was telling you guys that we are doing 29 laps here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it seems like Wolf is still in second place. The track length here of Bahrain is 5,412 kilometers. I'm assuming that is in total. Oh, I saw a move here between the Verstappen and Sainz. Verstappen takes P4 as they are still there. I also saw some moves in the back between Ocon and Magnussen. Magnussen and Ocon seem to be fighting. Let's take a look there as they move on to this DRS zone. Magnussen and Zhu with the DRS. Will one of them make the move? Iwasa is also very close by, and they stick behind each other as they dive into the S section here. And then this nice right-hand turn before we reach the more difficult turn of this track right here. Definitely can catch some drivers off guard. The most wins here is won by Lewis Hamilton, and he's currently in 8th. He has 5 wins here at the Grand Prix of Bahrain. Let's see if he can perhaps make that 6. But he definitely has to get up there if he wants to try to do just that. Most pole positions is shared among Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel here at the Grand Prix as well. So far, the top 3 seems to still be holding out with the same situation. Let's take a quick look at our leader, Lando Norris. He has a pretty big lead so far on Wolf. I'm pretty sure the lead is increasing as well. So it might be a solo run for Lando Norris here. And we go on the little stretch with the DRS section. The first Grand Prix held here was in 2004 here in Bahrain. But it does seem very much so that Lando Norris will take this one home. But you never know. There's a lot of stuff to go. There you go. You got a perfect view of how big his lead is so far as he goes on the main straight. You can definitely see the gap is increasing. As he turns into the Michael Schumacher turn, which is the only named corner on this track. Gonna have a look at Wolf in the new team, of course. Right here. Most people are currently like a small gaps in between everyone. At the moment, there's no one, as far as I can see from these angles, that is really close to one another to really make a potential move. They all seem to have like a similar gap in between them. As we go onto this straight after that lovely and wonderful hell turn. You can see in the distance everyone making that turn. We do have a little bit of a surprise that Perez and Russell are still out of the top 10 so far. But that might, of course, change when people are going into the pit stop, because we'll, of course, have those as well. As we go onto the main straight once more and dive into lap 7 right there. Verstappen seems to have the DRS on Piastri. So far as I could tell. Ooh, a little bit of the curb for Sakio Wolf. The newcomer, of course, with his own club. I meant with his own F1 team. It is, of course, his and Iwasa's debut race here in Bahrain. And he is doing pretty well here to stick to second so far in lap 7. But from what I could tell, I think Piastri and Verstappen are closing in on him. Of course, the number 7 he picked for his race driving number. Still no DRS for Piastri currently on that straight, but I'm pretty sure Verstappen did have the DRS on Piastri right there. And so far, no craziness happening yet. Most seem to have stabilized quite a decent amount. But I know, like, yellow flags or potential safety cars yet. I think Verstappen is closing in on Piastri. Piastri is going in on the defense. Verstappen with the outside line. Will he grab P3 here? It is a fight between them here into the second turn. Onto the straight. Piastri has the better exit and keeps hold of P3. I think Piastri had the DRS on that straight, as Verstappen still is decently close. Potentially could make a move somewhere in the upcoming turns. It definitely feels like Wolf is losing ground on both of these two drivers. Of course, Verstappen a world champion, and Piastri in a very in-form McLaren. And Carlos Sainz and Alonso not too far behind, and Leclerc obviously right behind Alonso too. Hamilton a little bit of a gap, but he's still in 8th, and then there is a bit more of a gap up until Tsunoda. Verstappen, when will he dive in? We know he likes to be aggressive, and he's of course very good in the rain. He's gonna make a move here in the last turn, perhaps, of lap 8. No, he stays behind and will probably go and get a move done here on the straight line with DRS. Piastri does not have the DRS. Piastri goes in defense again. Verstappen once more on the outside. They're side by side into turn 1. Is the same thing gonna happen? Verstappen with a better exit from turn 1, but Piastri once again has the inside line. They're still side by side here. Going into, I think this is turn 4 already. I'm unsure. They're still side by side coming out of this turn, but it seems like Verstappen has the better exit and takes P3. It does mean, of course, that Piastri will take DRS here on the little straight after the difficult turn. There we go, there it opens, and he will probably gain some momentum, not only in slipstream, but obviously from the DRS itself. But he's not going to make a move on Verstappen just yet. He sticks to his P4 for now. Gonna see, maybe on the straight, just like Verstappen did a lap earlier. Will he try? So far, nothing happening in between Sainz, Alonso, and Leclerc. They stay 5th, 6th, and 7th as they are, and it is Wolf who goes in. Verstappen also going in. Piastri takes the lead. Leclerc also staying out, taking 2nd. And Wolf, Norris, Verstappen so far in the pit lane. Norris going back out. Wolf as well coming out. Verstappen a little bit behind. Sainz behind that, I'm pretty sure. And Wolf comes out right behind Guan Zhu in 7th. He took a bit of the curb with those fresh tires, which is not ideal, of course. I'm gonna see if there's gonna be some moves here being made after this pit stop. It's usually a bit of a chaos. As we go into the S section, it definitely feels like Wolf is quicker than Zhu and is potentially holding up him, which might cause troubles regarding the pit stop for against Piastri. Piastri might come out first before Wolf is able to take back his P2, which he was sitting in. But he might be making a move here in the little straight. No, he concedes and stays behind the Guanju's for now. Going into this turn, and he makes a move here with not much effort as he follows the line towards Kevin Magnussen, who is in front of him. To the last corner of lap 10. Some have pitted, some have not. Wolf will get the DRS on Magnussen as the rest of the pack will go into the pit lane. At the end, he goes for the dive bomb into turn 1. Maybe a switcheroo. No, it doesn't happen. Wolf has taken back P2. Magnussen, of course, in 3rd, which is not really the place where he should be. Unsure if he still needs to pit or not. And Piastri is in 5th position right now. It seems Leclerc has actually taken over Alonso's position. And Hamilton is, of course, in 9th due to the fact that Magnussen is in 3rd. Verstappen is in DRS zone on Kevin Magnussen. Will he make a sneaky move here in this small straight line? No. Both Piastri and Verstappen stay behind Magnussen for now. So we move into the next couple turns. And now we hit a little bit of a straight. Running towards the final turn of lap 11. Verstappen will go, and so with Piastri. It is inside and out, and it is Magnussen getting pinned by both of them, which doesn't seem very nice of them. Magnussen trying to go for the pit as well. I see potentially a move being made by Sainz here on Piastri. No, it's not gonna happen. They stick to their current positions as they dive into turn 4. Currently on lap 12, which is almost halfway of this current Grand Prix. Magnussen currently in last position at this point of speaking, but let's go over the current state of the list. Lando Norris in 1st, Sakio Wolf in 2nd, Max Verstappen 3rd. Then we have Piastri P4, Carlos Sainz P5, Charles Leclerc P6, Fernando Alonso P7, Lewis Hamilton P8 again, Tsunoda is P9, Sergio Perez is P10 right now, Nico Hülkenberg is P11, Lance Stroll is P12, Russell has dropped to P13. Then we have both Alpine drivers in Pierre Gasly P14 and P15 for Ocon. as a move is being made on his own teammate Leclerc, and Sainz going for it into turn 1. And it's side by side into the second DRS, into the first DRS zone. Towards this turn 4, we will come out on top between the two Ferraris. At the moment, it seems to be Leclerc who takes P5 away from his teammate of Carlos Sainz. As I was saying, Gasly and Ocon seem to have shot up, as Pierre Gasly is now in P12. And Pierre Ocon, sure. And Ocon is in P14. Alright. Very spicy stuff right down there. Bottas, who is P16 now. Ricciardo P15 at this moment. We have Albon P17, Guanju P18, P19 is for the other new driver in Iwasa. P20 is Kevin Magnussen. P21 is Sargent. And P22 is Nico Hülkenberg. As we go into lap 14. Verstappen potentially could make a move here in turn 1 on Piastri once again. And Leclerc also very, very close on Verstappen. Sainz also not too far behind. And neither is Alonso. Although Lewis Hamilton is clearly a little bit behind. A bit too far to really try to fight along with his pack. And we are all nice and clean through this turn. As we go to the difficult one. That could potentially catch one of the drivers off guard, but they all go smoothly through it. Onto the little stretch. I'm assuming Verstappen has DRS to catch up a little bit. Preparing potentially for a takeover in the longer straight. And Sakio Wolf is still holding on to his second position right at this moment of speaking, as he will dive into lap 15 shortly. Here we go. Will Verstappen and or Leclerc make a move on each other? Sainz has a bit of a gap behind. Is somebody going to go for it? No. No one dares to make a move here into turn 1 on lap 15 between these three drivers. Perhaps now with the DRS zone, Verstappen thought about it, but didn't in the end. The question is, are they losing time on Wolf or are they still catching? That's the big wonder. Or would potentially Sakio Wolf put down a unique performance here, especially with that move on that first lap. That was an incredible move for the people that perhaps forgot about it. Oh, we had a very harsh turn there from Leclerc. Was he potentially losing grip there and had to readjust? Regarding his tires, we are unsure. It seems like Piastri is making a little bit of a gap here against Max Verstappen. And Leclerc is very, very close in and could potentially go and make a move here. Definitely has the DRS right here. Yes, he does. Will he go for it? Defensive for Max Verstappen as Leclerc goes around the outside. Will he make it stick? Verstappen over the curb, which causes Leclerc to have a better exit. Verstappen does get a better exit in that third turn. They're still side by side as they go into turn 4. And let's see, better exit from Leclerc. And Verstappen has to concede P4 to Charles Leclerc. And now he's stuck in between the two Ferraris on lap 16 out of 21, out of 29, not 21. That would have been a different thing. And he's gonna have DRS here, but I think so does Carlos Sainz, and Fernando Alonso also has the DRS on Sainz. Let's see, hoping for Alonso that he does gain a little bit of seconds there, but I doubt it. Let's see. It's always nice to see this air angle as they go down like a straight line. You can see like all the way into the distance. Pretty sick, to say the least. Are we going to see a move on this straight line once again? Verstappen in the inside against Charles Leclerc. Does he make the move? Has the curb. Leclerc with the better exit on turn 1, but not on turn 3. And there is a move being made by Carlos Sainz on Leclerc into turn 4. But it seems like Leclerc has the better exit. He does, and stays P5 after losing P4 to Verstappen once again. Let's see how close Piastri is currently away from Wolf. It still seems to be a gap of like a second or two. But so far the top 3 hasn't changed since the beginning of the race, I guess you could say, besides with maybe a little bit of a change hopping over with Piastri and Verstappen. But Piastri now definitely has a decent gap to Max Verstappen here, as we will dive into lap 18 very soon. Going into the main straight, it is Wolf going in for a second. Pit stop on lap 18, as a few of the other drivers are staying out for another lap. Most likely we do see a stop from Carlos Sainz here as well. He's also coming in. Wolf is coming out. I do see in the distance a potentially Bottas. Perez also came in, and we have I think Ricciardo came in as well. Wolf now on the hard tires as he goes onto the first DRS zone. Of course, he doesn't have DRS as he's not close enough to Pierre Gasly right now. But he will have a bit of work to do here, trying to make up as much time as possible from, you know, quote-unquote losing out on the pit stop, right? Not that you can do much about it, and it's not like it was a bad pit stop either. But it's always great if you can make up some time regarding that. So far, McLaren 1 and 2, Verstappen 3rd, of course. But remember, they still need to make a pit stop. And I'm assuming some of them will go in this at the end of this lap. Potentially Norris, Verstappen. Piastri takes P1. Is that because Norris is in the pit lane? And we have Verstappen in the pit lane too, as he drops down to 6th. And Leclerc and Alonso as well. Wolf grabs back his 4th position so far. And it seems that Piastri, Norris, and Russell are ahead of him. I think Russell is out for another lap, so he still needs to pit. I'm unsure about... I mean, I'm assuming Piastri stayed out as well, so he also still needs to pit. Norris, of course, the one that pitted. In lap 19. Iwasa currently in last position, which is not so great news for the new team of Sakio Wolf, of course. But fourth position right now, which is still a very respectable or very impressive result if it stays like this. But there's still 10 to 9 laps to go here in Bahrain. See where it ends, of course, as we drive towards the last turn here on lap 19. And we'll probably get some positions back. There we go. The last turn being made. We can see that Russell is into the pit lane, which will be P3 granted back to Wolf, and Piastri coming out just too late as Wolf takes back P2. We'll take another look at Verstappen, who seems to be pretty close towards Carlos Sainz. Is it gonna be a move here between the Red Bull and the Ferrari? We don't know yet. It could happen on the straight, on the main straight. Potentially. But we'll take a look at Magnussen right now, as he is currently in 9th position with Sergio Perez behind him. And Russell behind Perez, of course. And then we have a little bit of a gap into the group of Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Gasly, and I think Stroll. I'm pretty sure we're 4 drivers. But I could be very, very wrong. As he's coming down here into the last turn. See, the teammate Hülkenberg has to keep Gasly and Stroll in check. We had a move here. Is a fight happening here at the front between Verstappen and Leclerc. Leclerc going in, Verstappen going in on Sainz. And it is still side by side between Verstappen and Sainz, but now Verstappen comes out on top, P4. Piastri seems to definitely be closing in on Sakio Wolf here after that second pit stop, and it won't take long before he will be in DRS. He is already in DRS zone, so that's under 1 second of a gap. Does that mean that Piastri will make a move here on the straight line on the debutant? Maybe he could make a move here, but he's not going to do it as we dive into the last turn of lap 21 into lap 22, which would be 7 more laps to go. And he does take it on the straight. No real fight against the other McLaren, although he is back and had to hold off, otherwise they would have touched and made contact, which would have not been great, but that would have cost the time to, you know, back off right there. Hulkenberg in the pit lane, changing to soft tires. Magnussen will take over. He's in P19, getting chased down by the other new team driver in Iwasa. Unsure if it's gonna be close enough. He is in DRS zone, so that's at least something. Let's see, it will definitely not be close enough though for anything good to happen. Let's see. As Magnussen takes the difficult turn and goes onto the little straight. Is he in DRS zone? No, he's not. Not close enough to Guangzhou for the, I think, German, right? Or is it Danish guy? I think it's a Danish person, Magnussen. I think Hulkenberg is the German one. There we go. It's coming down the main straight in a moment. Take a look at how far Hulkenberg is. He is coming down the same straight as well. Nothing going on there. Lando Norris still leading the Grand Prix so far in lap 23. And we have Wolf still in third. Verstappen not too far behind, as we can see, but I think just about outside the DRS zone, from what I can see between the gap. So we'll return, we'll check out any potential moves being made here. Tsunoda is... No, it is Ocon with Stroll behind. But no move being made. We'll have the next group with Albon, Bottas and Zhu, and Magnussen a little bit behind. Very close up on Guangzhou this time. He will definitely have the DRS on the main straight. So that's a very, very positive point to take. And he's definitely catching here. Nothing happening right now, and we have an engine failure, I think. Yes. Hulkenberg is retiring from the race. An engine failure for sure. Hulkenberg is making a move into turn 1 on Guangzhou, but that doesn't look stable enough. Or does it? He does make it happen. Very nice move from Kevin Magnussen. So we go back to the top 5 here. And it seems like Verstappen has closed the distance. I'm pretty sure he had the DRS open. That looks very much like it is in this under the 1 second rule for DRS, and I'm pretty sure Sainz has the same here on Verstappen. Let's see if anything will happen here. On the main straight, DRS is being given by Verstappen. A small little defensive move, but not too much. Verstappen takes P3, although he could come back a slight push wide, and Wolf takes P3 once again. Another move being made, but this time it is 3 wide with Wolf, Verstappen and Sainz, and it seems like Sainz had a touch with Verstappen as Verstappen almost did a 180 and lost control, but he stabilized it and managed to keep driving. So that was very, very close to a accident there in turn 4 between Sainz and Verstappen. We only just about saw it from the camera angle given to us as we go into the straight. Sainz, of course, now forward as Verstappen lost out on that battle because of it. Sainz definitely close enough for a DRS section on the main straight. Verstappen close enough on side for a DRS section for himself, I'm pretty sure. And we are closing to the end of the race. Both McLarens still in the first and second place. Wolf currently still on podium, but that might change here with a move from Carlos Sainz, and he does take it. It's a sneaky move back into the first turn here. Oh, but they get stuck in each other's. And that's horrible news for the new driver. Here as he drops down to 8th. Carlos Sainz drops to 7th. And others take advantage of it. Here's a move being made between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Two big drivers, two greats of this sport fighting for P5. And it's Alonso who comes out on top. At least so far. And we're currently on lap 26. We have... We're halfway through lap 26. We have 3 laps to go after this one. Let's see if potentially Lewis Hamilton will take P5 away from Fernando Alonso. I'm pretty sure Verstappen will keep it clean and take the last podium spot. Or will Leclerc be a nuance for Verstappen? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Leclerc's gap is a bit too big towards Verstappen. We do have DRS here for Hamilton. He's gonna make a move on the inside. Defensive from Fernando Alonso. Inside line for Lewis Hamilton. Probably pushing him wide into this turn. And will Lewis Hamilton take P5? Yes, he will. Fernando Alonso P6, but does have the DRS into this turn. 3 drivers behind each other, but it stays like this. Lewis Hamilton P5, Alonso P6, Sainz P7. And we're going to turn on the more difficult corner here at Bahrain. No incidents so far in that turn. As we see Wolf in the background, can he potentially get back and maybe get an overtake on Sainz? But he's gonna have to catch up to this group first. And this group, of course, has DRS from each other. Although Lewis Hamilton seems to be making a gap to in between him and Fernando Alonso. Potentially because Alonso is trying to defend against Carlos Sainz. And he will have to do so here in the main straight, as Sainz will get the DRS and Fernando Alonso does as well. So that will definitely help with the defensive state of it. Sainz does put his car beside this. A little bit of a curb for Alonso, and Sainz could potentially take P6 here. But he doesn't. He gets pushed wide a little. And Alonso stays and remains in P6. Lap 28. So far, guys. That means after this lap, we have one more lap to go before we know who our winner here at Bahrain is today. It looks like most of it will stay the same from what I can tell. We might see a move between Alonso and Sainz. Sainz decently close on Alonso here, going in towards the last couple turns before they dive into the last lap itself. Sainz will definitely have DRS, and Fernando Alonso definitely should be out of that 1 second gap on Hamilton. Right. Let's take a look. Last turn in towards lap 29, or better said, the final lap of the race is on the way. And it is indeed Sainz who has DRS and will make a move on the outside line. Does take it for now. Is Alonso fighting back after this turn? He will have the DRS here in the second part. Well, in the first zone, basically, of the Bahrain Grand track itself. But he's not going to make a move. And it stays that way. It's Carlos Sainz, P6. Fernando Alonso, P7. And the gap behind towards Sakio Wolf is going to be way too big for Sakio Wolf to closen and make a move. So I'm afraid that the incident with Carlos Sainz cost both racers a couple of points here in Bahrain. And I'm sure Sakio Wolf will be absolutely furious, as he could have had podium placement here in Bahrain itself. We'll go and prepare ourselves as Lando Norris turns into the last corner and goes across the straight line. And he wins here in Bahrain. With Piastri in second. And of course there is Wolf in 8. Russell takes P9. Perez P10. Gasly will go across the line in P11 with Tsunoda coming in P12. Ocon P13. Stroll P14, Ricciardo P15, Magnussen P16, Bottas P17, Albon P18, Zhu P19, Iwasa P20, Sargent P21, and of course Hulkenberg with the DNF. Oscar Piastri had the best time here, so he will pick up an extra point. As you guys can see, we have Lando Norris picking up 25, Oscar Piastri 19, of course, due to the bonus point. Verstappen 15, Leclerc 12, Hamilton 10, Carlos Sainz 8, 6 for Fernando Alonso, Sakio Wolf 4, Russell 2, and Perez picks up the final point here in Bahrain. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's Grand Prix. Make sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to this channel. And as always, I'll see you guys on the other side.